Right now, within a mile of where you're sitting, something is hiding from you. Not one thing, count them. A deer froze mid-step. A fox changed its route home. A hawk picked a different tree. 3 animals rerouting their whole night because it hurt a human, and a human is the worst thing it knows. You think of yourself as the prey animal, the one who locks the door, checks the back seat, sleeps with one ear open. But to almost everything else alive, you are the thing in the dark. Scientists proved it at a waterhole in South Africa. 2 in the morning. The animals are relaxed, drinking, grooming, doing animal things. In the bush, there's a hidden speaker, and they play a lion. A real lion, growling, the apex predator of that entire landscape. The animals glance up, some shuffle. Mostly, they keep drinking. A lion is a known quantity. Then the scientists play a different sound. Not a roar, not a scream, just a couple of people, talking, calmly, about nothing. The waterhole empties. Instantly. Everything runs. 19 species, 15,000 videos. Same result every time. The scariest sound in that entire wilderness was you. A fangless animal that gets winded on stairs. You are the thing they evolved to be afraid of. How did you become the thing that lions run from? If you enjoy having your sense of self quietly dismantled, subscribe. We do this every week. Now, let's figure out how you became the apocalypse. Yes, that experiment is real. 2 researchers, Zanette and Clinchy, ran it across the Greater Kruger, and they didn't do it once. They captured 15,000 videos, 19 different mammal species. Same setup every time. A speaker in the bush, sometimes a lion growling, sometimes a human just chatting, not yelling, not threatening. The deadliest sound in nature, it turns out, is 2 people talking, possibly about a podcast. The numbers are not subtle. Animals were about twice as likely to run from human voices as from the lion. They abandoned the waterhole roughly 40% faster. And it wasn't a few jumpy animals. 95% of the species fled humans more than the lion. Giraffes, warthogs, rhinos, kudu. The apex predator of Africa got a polite nod. You got a stampede. Now stop for a second and feel how strange that is. A leopard could end most of us in about 4 seconds. The leopard has decided that is not the relevant risk. The relevant risk is the thing holding a coffee. To understand why every animal on Earth got this memo, we have to go back. Back to when you weren't the predator. Back to when you were the snack. Here's the thing nobody tells you about your ancestors. For most of the story, they were prey. Genuinely, routinely, lunch. Big cats hunted them. Giant hyenas the size of a small bear hunted them. There is an early human skull with the puncture holes of a leopard's lower jaw, a perfect match for how leopards seize and carry off their kills. There were even eagles. A famous fossil child, the Tong child, has eagle talon marks in its eye sockets, the leading explanation for how it died. Your great-great ancestors were small enough to be carried off by a bird. So for the longest time, the human position in the food chain was somewhere in the middle, and nervous about it. We were not special. We were portable. And then, over roughly 2 million years, something flips. Slowly, the prey starts hunting back. The thing that got dragged up trees learns to make the trees into spears. By the time you get to modern humans, the position on that ladder has moved. Not up a rung, off the top of the ladder entirely. One study estimates we'd reach the very top of the food chain, apex of apex, and stayed there. For tens of thousands of years, the entire animal kingdom has been getting the same lesson, over and over. The small, slow one with the stick is the one you do not let near you. But being on top of the food chain doesn't fully explain the panic. Lions are apex too, and the animals just shrugged at the lion. So what makes you, specifically, uniquely, terrifying? It's not your teeth. It's your resume. A team of scientists actually did the math on this. They compared how often humans kill large predators versus how often those predators kill each other. Scientists measured something remarkable. Humans kill other top predators at roughly 9 times the rate those predators kill each other. 9 times. Not by accident. That's the steady state data. We are not just in the competition. We are running the competition. And there's a detail in that study that is, frankly, the scariest part. Out in the ocean, we harvest adult fish at around 14 times the rate of marine predators. Here's why that matters. Every other predator on Earth targets the weak, the young, the old, the sick. It's the polite thing to do. It keeps the prey population healthy. We do the opposite. We specifically take the big, strong, breeding adults, the best ones, on purpose. No other predator does that. It's not how nature is supposed to work. To the rest of the food chain, we don't behave like a predator at all. We behave like a force. And it's not because we're strong. Look at us. We have no claws, no real fangs. We can't outrun a house cat. We get winded on stairs. By any honest physical measure, we are a soft, slow, deeply unimpressive animal. The terror isn't in the body, it's in the team. We plan, we remember. We hand the spear to the next generation along with the instructions. One human is a snack. A few humans who can talk to each other and coordinate? That's the most dangerous configuration of meat on the planet. You, personally, are the shark from Jaws. Except you're holding a coffee. And the music doesn't play, which somehow makes it worse. Quick one while you process being the villain. Drop a comment with the wild animal you'd lose a fight with in under 10 seconds. Be honest. Now here's the twist. That animal is more scared of you than you are of it. Let that ruin your day, then keep watching. Now it gets bigger than the waterhole. Because your fear doesn't just scare animals, it rearranges entire ecosystems. In the Santa Cruz Mountains, a researcher named Suraci tried the same trick, speakers in the wild playing human voices, and he watched what happened to the whole food chain. The medium predators basically logged off. Skunks cut their activity by about 40%. Opossums cut their foraging by 2/3. Bobcats, confident, capable bobcats, went almost completely nocturnal, sneaking around only after dark, hoping to avoid the talking apes. And here's the beautiful, ridiculous part. When the bobcats hid, the mice came out. Deer mice expanded their range by almost half, suddenly free to roam, because the thing that scared the thing that ate them had pressed play on a podcast. That's the landscape of fear. You don't have to touch anything. You don't have to hunt. Your voice alone, drifting through the trees, reaches down through every layer of the food web and makes the whole thing flinch. The other animals fear each other. They are afraid of you in a different category. You're not a predator they negotiate with. You're the weather. You're a season they're trying to survive. Which raises an obvious question. If we're this terrifying, if everything runs the second it hears us, how does anything not learn that fear? What happens to an animal that has never met a human and never gets the memo? It turns out the fear of us is not built in. It's learned. And there were islands full of animals that never got the chance to learn it. The dodo lived on Mauritius, with no predators. So when sailors arrived, the dodo did not run. Why would it? It had no concept of danger. It walked right up, and within decades, it was gone. Entirely. Forever. In the Galapagos, Darwin noticed the same thing. Birds so unafraid you could nearly pick them off a branch by hand. Tameness, in a world that had never contained us, was the default setting. And then there was Steller's sea cow, a gentle giant discovered in 1741. From the moment humans found it to the moment the last one died was 27 years. 27. An animal that survived for ages met us and was gone before a single human could grow up and grow old. That's the cold lesson underneath all of this. The animals that fear us are the descendants of the ones who learned to. The ones who didn't fear us didn't get to have descendants. Fear of humans isn't an insult. For the survivors, it was the entrance fee. So nearly every animal that flinches at your voice is flinching because its great-great-grandparents made the correct call about your species. But there's a small group that went the other way, and they're thriving. A handful of animals looked at the most terrifying predator on Earth and thought, actually, this could work for me. The raccoon, the pigeon, the rat. In the city, these animals get noticeably bolder. They let you get closer before they bolt. Scientists actually measure this, the distance at which an animal flees, and in cities, it shrinks. They stopped treating us as the apocalypse and started treating us as a buffet. And then there's the one species where we didn't wait for it to lose the fear. We switched the fear off ourselves. Tens of thousands of years ago, some wolves came a little too close to our fires, and instead of running, they stayed. We turned the animal most like us, a coordinated pack hunter, into the dog asleep on your couch. The most feared predator on Earth got lonely and made a friend out of its only real rival. Which brings us to the part that doesn't add up. Because here's the truth about the monster. You are the thing 19 species flee at the mere sound of your voice. You are the force that empties waterholes and makes bobcats hide from the moon. You are, measurably, the most frightening animal that has ever lived. And you are scared of spiders. You check behind the shower curtain. You sleep with a nightlight on, a little sometimes when you're being honest. The single most terrifying creature on this planet is, on the inside, still a small nervous primate that got dragged up trees by leopards. We climbed off the top of the food chain, and we never quite believed it. We're the thing in the dark that everything fears, lying awake, afraid of the dark. So the next time something runs from you, a bird off a wire, a deer at the tree line, just know, that's not an insult. That's tens of thousands of years of the animal kingdom agreeing on exactly one thing. You. If you'd like to keep finding out you're stranger than you thought, subscribe. Next time, why humans are the only animal that cries when we're happy, and why no other creature does anything that weird. See you then.